Hello everyone, good morning. We are looking at Palworld. So this is going to be a quick tutorial guide for brand new players getting into the game who have never played before. If you've played before even for just an hour getting into the game, this is probably not the guide for you. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now then, in this quick tutorial we're going to go over 10 steps that you should learn as a new player in Palworld. 1 is going to be setting up the game. 2 is going to be your first steps in gathering. 3 is understanding the tech tree. Number 4 is crafting and your inventory. 5 is how to build a starting base. 6 is how to catch the actual pals that the game revolves around. 7 is putting the pals to work for you. 8 will be how to level up your character and put stats in. 9 will be how to fast travel and use points across the map to get to where you need to. And 10 is how to respawn and death, what it means, what happens after that. Oh, and also a bonus number 11, please leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in more Palworld content or beyond. So with that being said, let's look at the starting screen. This is your very first step into the game. There's going to be a multiplayer invite code. We're not going to worry about those two right now. If you have friends who want to buy a server or host a server, you'll need the invite code. If not, you could join a world server and join a multiplayer game. The survival guide is really neat to check out. If you click on that, you could see all the different options they have. It's pretty thorough for new players. It's pretty forgiving to get into the game. There's not a lot of catch up to do. It's all described here if you want to learn about something. Even a what should I do first guide. If you don't want to listen to this video, you can read through this. With that being said though, if you're new to the game, we're going to go to start game. We're going to create new world. It should be blank for you if you've never played before. You can name it whatever you want. And confirm. And when you get to this screen, you're going to want to turn multiplayer off. You can turn it on at a later date. Difficulty, you're probably fine on normal. I wouldn't really go easy or hard or custom. At the moment, if you do want to customize your world at some point, you become more experienced, you can do all of this. So we have experience rate, daytime, night cycle, capture rate, hunger depletion, all of this stuff. It's very adjustable, it's very replayable once you get in. But for right now, we're just going to go on normal, start your game, and hit OK. It'll take you to a character creation screen, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, you'll start the game if you've never played before in this starting area. All we're going to do right now is focus on gathering materials to start your base. Nothing else matters when you get to this point. Ignore the tutorial, ignore the NPCs over here you see, ignore this spot. All you're going to do is run down and collect some materials. So you're going to need about 15 wood, 15 stone, and 1 pal fragment. So come down here. Any object that you have with a white outline is gatherable, as well as just trees. All you have to do is hold the left mouse button to start whacking at it, and you want to collect as much resources as you can in the beginning before you get any tools. Also, side note, these berries are also important, so hit the F key to collect them for food. Ignore the pals you see now, collect any pal spheres you have. You can pick up objects on the ground, but really you're just looking for materials at the moment. So go ahead, punch away at some trees, punch away at some rocks. The first 5 minutes is going to be a little slow for you. Now then, something else to keep in mind is this bar going down near your character is your stamina bar. So we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about points. Just keep an eye on that. If you drain your entire stamina bar like I'm about to do, you won't be able to do any actions until it recovers all the way. So managing stamina is important when you're doing any labor or handiwork. You really want to stop around 2/3 of the way down for it to fully recover, so you can still do things like hit things, attack, sprint, etc. Stop right there, let it recover, and that way you won't have to let it go all the way through. So once you have your wood and stone, you're going to want to go to find one of these guys over here. Wait for your stamina to recover. And punch away. Sometimes the Paladin will drop off the rocks. If you don't have one, you'll need one of these blue ores. Go ahead, punch away. You have a Paladin fragment. Congratulations, you can now start looking at your base. Before we look at our base, however, we're going to look at the top right of our menu is the tutorial. So you can check these off in any order. They're optional, but you will do them eventually just by playing the game. We're going to go to the very bottom and understand the tech tree first to unlock some stuff. So if you hit tab, it will open up your inventory. You can see all the things you've gathered. You have a good amount of stone, wood, Paladin fragments right now. You can ignore everything else. So it looks overwhelming when you're first looking at it. Ignore everything but the technology tree right now. Go to technology. And it starts you off with primitive workbench, stone axe, stone pickaxe, handheld torch, and wooden club. You get those by default. Every time you level up or have special achievements, you get technology points. This is how you unlock every item in the game. There's a lot to take in. Don't be overwhelmed. We're going to take it a little chunk at a time. First of all, we're going to unlock the PAL box, which is basically your base for the rest of the game. And then PAL spheres, because that's what the tutorial ones. Pal spheres are basically your capture balls for all the pals in the game. This will be critical to you leveling up. With those two, we can exit, and that's a technology tree. Now then, before we set up a base camp, we really want to understand how crafting and your inventory works. So we're going to look at your inventory first. Go back to tab. You can manage all of your items here. You can move them wherever you want to. Once you have weapons and equipment, you'll be able to equip them here. The other thing to note is food. So right now you're only going to have red berries. If you right click on that, you can choose to eat them to keep your energy up. If you starve, you will die. This orange bar is your hunger level, so just click on that a few times to recover to full. You always want to make sure you have some food in your backpack ready to eat. Now then, you want to find a space suitable for your base. You want something big, wide open with a fair amount of resources around. The default starting location is a few. We're going to choose right here. So if you go to B, it'll open up your radial menu for what you can build. Right now you can only build a primitive workbench and your PAL box, because that's what we've unlocked. So we're going to build a primitive workbench first. Place that anywhere you want to be near your base. I'm going to choose right here, and you're going to hold down the F button to build. Workbenches will give you primary use of items and resources in the game. You'll basically be crafting everything here, and later on you can get pals to work on these as well. Hit F to activate again, you can see what we can create. So in the technology tree that we looked at earlier, you have your pal sphere, club, torch, stone pickaxe, and stone axe. Right now we're going to get a pickaxe and stone axe and some pal spheres. So go ahead and click pickaxe, go down here, start production, and hold F to work on it. Once that's made, we're going to hold F again to pick it up, and do the same for our stone axe. Start that production. Equip that. And you can see right now we don't have enough wood, so we're going to need to gather some more wood and stone, but that shouldn't be a problem now that we have inventory and items. So it'll automatically equip stuff to you if you don't have anything in the slot. So if you ever want to unequip a weapon, just drag it, and to equip it again, you can drag it back or right click. You can have up to 4 weapons in the game. Tools do count as weapons. If these aren't in your weapon slots, you can't use them. So keep those here for now. And now you can see the difference when mining stone. You basically get 1 item every whack. Obviously there will be improvements later in the game. And to quickly scroll through your items, you just use a scroll wheel to get left or right of your scroll weapons. Now that we have some items in our inventory, now we want to actually construct our base. So some buildings you can build anywhere in the world. Other buildings will be constructed only by your base. So go to your PAL box. This is basically the center structure for your base. This will be the main central point ecosystem of everything that you do in the game. It has a radius of what you can build around it, so you want to make sure that this is going to be in the center of any location that you want your base to be built in. It's critical that you decide this early. You can move the PAL box eventually, but it will uproot your entire base if you do so. So be sure to decide where you want to build your base before you actually do it. Don't make a rush decision. Check out some areas on the map that you want to explore first and see which best suits your needs. Some other notes with the PAL box in your base is that it will share equipment with you. So let's say you build some chests and you keep items in your chest like wood. If you have wood in a chest inside your base, you can use that wood anywhere as long as you're also in your base. It's a really good quality of life thing they add in. Everything revolves around your PAL box and your base. So you can build outside of it, but you really don't want to. Buildings will deteriorate over time, and you won't be able to use all your items unless it's in your backpack. So just, again, be focused on what the PAL box is centered around and build up from there. Great, so you have a PAL box. What next? Now we're going to build some PAL spheres. You can max out your production, and we're going to build a few PAL spheres, and we're going to catch our first PAL. So this tutorial will give you certain pals that they want you to catch. Right now we're just going to experiment with it. So choose a pal that you see, like the chickpea here. You're going to either use an axe, pickaxe, or your arms to battle it. Let's look at battle them. They do have a health pool. You want to get them to around 10 to 5% health, like that. And then you're going to hit Q to try to capture it, throw in a sphere. It'll have a capture rate, and congratulations, you've caught your first pal. Now, the things you can do with pals is pretty endless in this game. We're going to go over the 2 basic functions right now. So, if you go to your party, next to your inventory tab, you can see that the chickpea is now in your party. Each animal will have its own attack, defense, work speed, its own work suitability, and its own partner skills. Right now, we're just going to look at work suitability. This will tell you what it does. So, chickpea is good at farming and gathering. Some pals have more abilities than others. So some pals can only do one thing. Some pals can do a handful of things that are generally more useful. The other thing to look at is your PAL deck. This will show you every PAL that you've seen and highlight any PALs that you have captured so far. So if you ever want to do research on it, you can go to your PAL deck, go back to your party. One more thing you can do is you can also edit the name right here, edit. We'll name him Chicken, confirm, and male or female, which will be useful later in the game. We're not going to cover that in this tutorial. Alright, the other thing you can do with PALs is you can go to your PAL box, and this is basically your storage system for all PALs you catch. There's 20 boxes total. So you have a 5 PAL party. These PALs will be basically your companion buddies. They will do battles for you. They will help you on missions and achieve things, but they are exclusive to your party. If you want a PAL in storage, you can move it over to your box. And then if you want a PAL to work in your base, you can move it over and just drag it down here. Or you can right click it and that will automatically pop them in your base. PALs at your base live here. They live in your base. They will do everyday things for you. If you go up to them, you can pick them up with F. And you're basically going to throw them at any building or object that you want worked on. So let's say you want your sheep to work on this workbench. You just simply toss them at it. Toss them at it again to disable the mode. Now if we go to this workbench, and let's say we want to build a handheld torch, start production on it, he's going to find the closest job he can help you with. Because he has a handiwork skill, he'll be able to build things for you. You can also double up the speed and work on it with your pals to achieve greater speeds. And look how happy he is. So now they have the basics of what pals do, what your base is, and what your inventory does. Next thing we're going to look at is when you level up. You can see you have unused stat points at the bottom of your screen. If you go to your inventory screen and go to the right, you will see all your stat points. Every time you level up, you get a stat point block. So go to Enhanced Stats. Then you can choose whichever stats you want to improve upon. Some improved by 100 per, some improved by 10, some improved by 50. It's whatever you want to do. Personally, I recommend early game, you want to increase your weight amount and your work speed amount. Work speed will just help you work faster, build buildings quicker, and build equipment easier. And your weight will be how much workload you can actually carry. So right now your weight's 300. That's not a lot of stuff. I'm going to put 2 into weight. You can play around with whatever you want. Early game, I would prioritize work speed and weight. Mid game, I would prioritize HP and stamina. Late game, I would prioritize attack. So right now, dump your points into weight until you get 3 or 4, and then you can put it into work speed and then HP later. Hit OK. That will lock that in. And now if you look down here at your bottom left, weight, you can now carry 400, I think it's kilograms, so 400 kilograms of items. Real quick shout out to something that isn't too critically important, but there is a day and night cycle in this game. So the sun will eventually set and night will come out. All this means is that there will be different pals to capture, and your pals at your base will sleep unless they're a nighttime pal. So just be aware of that. There is time in the game. But we're going to go back to where we started our game. And notice this eagle statue here? Walk up to it. Hit F. These are your fast travel statues. 1, they unlock technology points, which is important for your tech tree. 2, it allows you to fast travel anywhere in the world connected to any more points. So the map is huge, you guys. There is a lot of world to uncover. On my main game, I still have not uncovered all of it. You can choose where to fast travel to points. Your base will also always act as a fast travel location. So if you go to an eagle statue, you can fast travel directly to your base, and this will save you critical time while playing the game. Alright, last thing we'll talk about is death. So, you can die a few different ways. You can die from hunger. You can also die from battle, either being shot by NPCs, being killed by a pal, being mauled by a world boss. You can die by drowning. However, let's say you get stuck or have no way home. You can also go to your main menu with escape and hit respawn. This will give you the warning that world settings will be in effect. Generally, this means you drop your items in PAL team, so only use this in dire situations or if you want to free fast travel, which is what we're going to do. So hit yes to respawn. Then you can go hit the respawn. And this will give you the ability to respawn anywhere in the world. So these are the 8 starting locations. In general, you just want to go back to your base or the fast travel location right here. We're going to respawn here. And ta-da! We're back at the starting area. So thank you so much for watching, guys. This will do it for this video. I will be posting more tutorials in a little bit on this channel. Like I said, this is just a very, very new player beginner tutorial. If you have not played before, this should give you the bare bone minimum to start playing the game and not be totally lost and overwhelmed like other new players. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Bye!